I want to show you how to make an object appear and disappear in the middle of a recording that you've already done. So here I have about 20 or 30 seconds of a recording that I've done, giving directions on canoeing from Lake Itasca to Mendota. And after about 5 seconds, watch for an arrow that shows up. First, you'd begin at the source of the Mississippi River in Lake Itasca. Then you'd paddle eastward through Lake Winnibigoshish. So did you notice how an arrow showed up pointing to Lake Itasca, and then after a couple seconds it disappeared? And so now let's add another arrow to Lake Winnibigoshish because that was the second step. So right around 19 seconds is where I had said Lake Winnibigoshish. So I can scroll until I see, yep, that's 19 seconds. I had just finished saying Lake Winnibigoshish. So that's where we want to add an object. So we click on the objects, square, circle over here, and up here is where the option for an arrow is. So I can just make sure that's selected. And anywhere on the screen, I can start to draw my arrow. And you won't always be able to point to it right away depending on where you pressed on the screen first. So you can always move it around, you can tap on it and adjust it. So there I have my arrow pointing to Lake Winnibigoshish. After a couple seconds, I start to move on and talk about the third step. You can see it down in the audio here that there's my voice is speaking there. And so that's where I want to delete that arrow because I'm moving on to the next step. So right about there, I can click on the X on the side, tap the arrow, and I can delete it. And so now when I play this, it should disappear after a couple seconds. We're through Lake Winnibigoshish. Then you would canoe south through St. Cloud. So there it is. And we could obviously continue adding more arrows with each of the other spots.